Hello. My theme for my videos in this April of 2021 has been meetings, and my intention is to give you some tips to help you have meetings that are more effective. And I have strong opinions on everything, and my opinion about a good meeting is that it is time bound, it includes some quite robust discussion, decisions are taken, and people leave the meeting feeling energized and excited to take action. So how do you make sure that your meetings are characterized by these items? So the first tip that I would have for you is make sure you start and finish on time. You need to respect the time that people are giving up in order to attend your meetings, and so being punctual is a sign of respect. It's a good idea to start your meetings by reprioritizing your agenda. Things can go wrong, and it's entirely possible that you won't cover all your agenda items in the time that you've allocated, in which case you need to decide which agenda items could be carried forward to the next meeting. It's also a really good way of ensuring that everybody there knows what we are trying to achieve. A third tip is make the running of the meeting a collaborative affair. So if you agree up front with your colleagues that we are going to start and finish on time, we are going to make sure that we don't go down rabbit holes. It's everybody's responsibility to bring the meeting back on track if we do go down rabbit holes. It is acceptable to stop people if they are indulging long stories because it slows us down. So setting the rules of engagement, if you like, or the rules by which the meeting will be run is a really good way to set things up. Introduce each agenda item with the question that needs to be answered or the decision that needs to be taken. This will ensure that the discussion leads in the direction of those questions or decisions. The fifth point that I would make is allow a defined amount of time for discussion of agenda items. Don't allow it to ramble. If you say that there'll be a 5-minute discussion before we decide what is going to be actioned, then 5 minutes is the time, and we need to keep to that. You only continue beyond that if there is further information that needs to be obtained in order to take a sound decision. My sixth tip is don't allow rambling and storytelling. People like the sound of their own voices. They like to tell stories. They like to follow up one person's story with their own story. They like to be heard, and very often we make the mistake of being polite. And that makes our meetings go on too long. So we need to stop rambling and storytelling if the information that we have on the table is adequate for making the decision that needs to be made. Use a parking lot. Issues will come up that need to be addressed, but not in this meeting. This meeting has a purpose, and you need to serve the purpose of this meeting and have another meeting for new items that come up. So a parking lot is a very useful thing to use in order to be sure that those topics get dealt with later. At the end of each agenda item, clearly articulate the decision that has been taken or the answer that has been found to the question that your agenda item asked before moving on. And then I have some thoughts about how to end your meeting in an effective way. It is very powerful to go around the room and ask each person to state what they will be doing and by when coming out of this meeting. It is an acceptance of accountability for specific actions. The second question that is really useful is to say to the participants, what did we do well in this meeting? And it gives you and your colleagues an opportunity to identify the aspects of the meeting that worked well that you would want to replicate the next time. And the final question is, what do we want to do better next time? Because then you can articulate perhaps some of the mistakes that were made during the meeting that made it go on too long, or that meant that you stayed with an agenda item longer than you needed to. Running good meetings takes practice. But I believe that practice only makes perfect if there is some kind of feedback or reflection on the practice. And that's why I like the idea of ending your meetings with those questions. What did we do well that we would like to replicate? And what would we like to do differently next time? And I hope that these tips help you to have many successful meetings where your colleagues leave energized and excited to take action, and where your colleagues look forward to the next meeting.